All right, guys, time for the weekend wrap-up in high school football. Week 4 in the books. Like, it's unbelievable that we're already a month.
Mid-season right here between 4 and 5.
There's no doubt about it. And this is really where the rubber meets the road coming up. Big games. But let's talk about quickly what took place this past weekend. Muskegon at East Grand Rapids, right? Muskegon wins 56-28. And I'll tell you what, we might have to seriously consider putting Khalil Pimpleton on our watch list for Mr. Football, because he was unbelievable. He was the difference in the game. 5'6", 155 pounds. That's all this guy brings to the table, but he is as fast as they come. 4 touchdowns on Friday, 3 of them from 35 yards or more on the ground.
Well, I had talked about this kid earlier, and I actually had a chance to meet this young man. Real pleasant young man, very polite, but real strong. I mean, I know you listed his stats there, but
his height and weight.
He bench presses like 250, and he squats 370. He loves the weight room, and he's really put together well. He was 17-1 before getting on the varsity, combining his freshman and JV record. So there's no surprise here. I didn't think they were going to miss a beat with him at quarterback. I'm a little surprised he's playing as well as he is this early in the season. I thought it might take him a little longer. But, they have such big linemen at Muskegon that when he has the ball, you can't see him on the defensive side. And by the time you see him, he's already gone. So good for him. Pimpleton's a really fine player, and he's only going to get better.
Absolutely. And just the team in general, these are the big games. East Grand Rapids gave them kind of all they could handle, especially early. There was kind of matching them score for score. But the way that they just kind of finished them off when it was needed was impressive. Muskegon now 3-1, opens up the OKC Black Conference against 2-2 Grand Rapids Kennewa Hills. So that'll be...
Yeah, they're just okay. Later in the season, they'll play Zeeland East, which is kind of a surprise this year. Zeeland East beat Hudsonville, so that'll be a test for them. And, of course, they got Mona Shores later on.
East Grand Rapids now 3-1. They take on a non-divisional opponent in 2-2 Grandville, a team that just lost to Rockford 21-zip. So we'll see if EGR can get back on the winning track.
That's a tough non-league schedule for a white team, and OK White going to play Muskegon in the black and now Granville.
Absolutely. KLAA West now, all right? Brighton has started the season 4-0. They beat Grand Blanc 35-12. Grand Blanc was also 3-0 coming in, so a couple of unbeatens in week 4. Bulldogs' best start since 2000. Quarterback Joey Clifford had 5 touchdowns, 4 rushing, 1 passing.
Brighton's got some other big games coming up, but this was the first really true matchup for both teams because Grand Blanc really hadn't played anybody. They played Carman Ainsworth the first week, which is always a rivalry game. To open the season, they won by a touchdown. Carman Ainsworth's not bad, but still this was the big test for Grand Blanc. And Brighton's pretty good. A new coach there, Brad Lemons, coming over for Ann Arbor Gabe.
They beat Churchill.
23-7. That was probably their best win before this week. They have some other tough ones coming up. Howell, for instance.
A couple of weeks.
Right, and Howell kind of slipped up last week, but that's not that surprising. I wrote that it would be a trap game. They only beat Pinckney by 5 points, and Pinckney's unwinnable, or as it were, winless. So it's like this in the West, though. You have some really good teams, then you got teams like Milford on the bottom.
Right.
Which
traditionally you would not say that.
No.
You've been around a long time. You remember when Brighton was a force in Division I football. You think they're close to kind of...
It's a little too early to say. This was a good game for them to play, but I didn't think Grand Blanc was going to be...
It's a big school district.
Right, I didn't think Grand Blanc was going to be that good this year. And the reason, their coach told me that, hey, we only have like 3 starters back. We got to move, make a lot of moves, do a lot of coaching. And for teams like that, they might be good at the end of the year, but they're still kind of feeling their way around. And it's funny that I said that. I talk like a coach sometimes. Coaches, I thought, after the first 2 weeks, they kind of know things. They don't. It takes them a lot longer than 2 weeks.
Absolutely. Brighton takes on a 4-loss Milford team this week, while Grand Blanc has 4-0 Howell.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Tough. Playing Brighton Howell back-to-back, that's tough.
All right, finally, let's talk about Farmington and Rochester Adams. It was a thriller. Our cameraman here, Ben Rowden, was at the game for us for Extra Point, taking care of business. Back and forth, brouhaha in this one. And when it was all said and done, Farmington, a 19-15 win. Late-game heroics by the Falcons. Adams had a shot at the end zone right at the end of the game, but couldn't pull it out.
Well, Ben Rowden's on Scott Bernstein's, how should I, following his trail, calling David Reese the Beast. Ben said that he was just tremendous in that game. And, you know, Adams had 1 first down in the first half in that game, which is remarkable because when I saw them play against Southfield, they really kind of dominated Southfield in the first half. Southfield made the adjustments at halftime and then turned things around in the second half. I mean, for Farmington to come out and stop Adams right away with that, you know, that veer that they run, and they have a nice quarterback that runs it. That's impressive. But you look at Farmington; they're winning on defense. If you look at all the scores this year, they're kind of down. But you know, that's kind of old school too. They're not, you know, like a Waterford Mott, for example, that tries to outgun you. Farmington tries to beat you up on the line of scrimmage and, you know, come out the winner at the end.
Second half last week when they lost to Southfield, it was really, I think, they learned from their mistakes. They gave up the big play, and it was really their defensive backs that were just having a hard time making adjustments. There weren't, you know, the quarterback for Southfield, we talked about him. You know, he is raw.
Right, he's freshman.
He's a freshman, and he's got an arm. He's got a good arm.
Sure does.
But he, you know, the receivers were having to make adjustments, come back to the ball. Farmington was able to defend that, and so they gave up some big plays, and I think they've grown now a week later. Farmington's 3-1 on the season. They face crosstown rival 2-2 North Farmington this week.
I thought they were playing Harrison. I guess that's later on.
Rochester Adams also 2-2. They've got Oak Park next, a team that just got their first win of the year with a 33-zip blanking of Rochester.
And they win out. Hey, you know what about winning out? You got to win one first. See, Oak Park already won one game. The Lions have to win their first.
Fair enough. That is the wrap-up, and we'll give you the preview in just a couple of days.